Hello, everybody. Welcome to every my one video every 2 months that I upload on this channel. Okay, yeah, I know it has been a while since I've uploaded to the channel, but I'll try to upload a little bit more with the trade deadline and the playoffs coming up soon. And yes, I know you're wondering. This is a video about the Lindholm trade that happened like 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, what? And you're probably asking me, why are you so late? Well, I don't know. I just didn't really find the time to record the video. But here I have the day off today. So, yeah, I'm making this video. So, anyways, just to let everybody know my thoughts on the trade, and also it's kind of good because you get to see kind of a bit of a sample size with their new teams. Lindholm's played 6 games with the Canucks. Pretty sure Kuzmenko's played 5 with Calgary. So yeah. And so for anybody who doesn't know the exact details of the trade or has been living under a rock for past 2 weeks, the Elias Lindholm trade, he got traded to the Vancouver Canucks. He was the top center on the market. You can argue that he was potentially the base asset on the market. And yeah, Calgary trading another star. Well, not. Yeah, he is a star, I guess. Well, Zadorov wasn't a star, but trading another player to the Canucks, which teams don't like to trade within their division, but Calgary seems to have really no problem in trading with the Canucks. And yeah, Nikita Zadorov already going to the Canucks earlier this season. And yeah, now it's Elias Lindholm. And so just a complete breakdown, Elias Lindholm obviously going to the Canucks. And then, but the other way goes Andrei Kuzmenko, which, he scored 40 goals last year. Or I think he scored 39, actually. He's one off 40 last year. So he has the potential to be a quite solid top 6 forward. But this year has not been it. I think he was scoring at about a half a point a game before leaving. He had less than double digits in goals. And it wasn't working for him here. He got scratched like a bunch of times during the season. And so I think he just needs a change of scenery. And yeah. And then the other players in the trade, got Hunter Brzustevich, third round pick from the 2023 draft by the Canucks. Defenseman, I think he's leading OHL defenseman in points. So Calgary get themselves actually a pretty decent asset there. Yeah, I mean, my thoughts to Canucks fan, I wouldn't like to give up Brzustevich because obviously he's playing so well in the OHL. But, I mean, I'm just kind of happy that we managed to get Lindholm without having to trade one of our top 2 prospects in Lekkerimäki or Willander. So the fact that we didn't have to trade one of those 2 is pretty good. But obviously, you still have to trade pretty decent prospect in Brzustevich. And then Joni Jurmo, not quite as highly rated of a prospect, was a third-round pick from 2020, also a defenseman, but kind of, I wouldn't want to say he hasn't panned out, since obviously defenseman takes a while to, longer to develop. But it has been 3.5 years since he is drafted, and I can't remember, hearing anything about him, so you can quote me on this. I don't think he's going to be that great of a player. If he does turn out to be a decent player, then yeah, I'm wrong. But it's just my guess. And 2024 first-round pick, which shouldn't be that high of a pick. It's not going to be a lottery pick, and hopefully for the Canucks, it'll be quite a late pick. Because if they get knocked out of the first round, it will still be a kind of high pick. But not going to be a lottery pick because the Canucks are obviously going to make the playoffs. They're first in the league. There's no way they drop out. Conditional 4th-round pick, I believe. The condition was, I heard from somewhere, I could be wrong, but that if the Canucks make the conference finals, then that 4th-round pick will turn into a 3rd-round pick. So, yeah. And now, anyways, time to move on to the stats. Stats with new teams so far. Lindholm, 6 games played. Actually just scored 2 goals last night against the Red Wings for 4 goals and 1 assist. Had an amazing debut, scoring 2 power play goals to put the Canucks past Carolina in that game. And then he scored 2 against the Red Wings. In between then, he kind of had a stretch of 4 games where he didn't play so well, got an assist in there. But he's back. He played pretty well. And the team record hasn't been very bad when he's been there. 4-1-1. I mean, you had that absolute spanking by Boston, but besides that, the team's been playing pretty well. And then Kuzmenko actually hasn't done super bad with Calgary so far. 5 games played, 3 goals, 0 assists. Already has a quarter of the goals. Already has, well, less or more than a quarter of the goals he had with have come with Calgary in only 5 games compared to the 40 something that he played with Vancouver. And the team record hasn't been too bad. They run a 3-game win streak. I think they lost 2. They just got beat they got beat pretty heavily by San Jose yesterday, Calgary. So that's not great. They're on a 2-game losing skid, but still 3-2. It's not a bad record. And so yeah, both these players not had the worst starts to their new teams. And so now back to me, and now back to my thoughts on the trade. Canucks, as a Canucks fan, I'm kind of happy that to get Lindholm, because it shows that to the rest of the NHL that we want to be contenders this season, and he's a very decent player. Obviously, he's 40 goal scorer. I think he scored 40 goals. Yeah, he scored 40 goals before. I was obviously playing with Gaudreau and Kachuk. He isn't having the greatest of years. I mean, he still made the All-Star team, but only because of the rules where you have to pick one player from each team. But he is playing well at the Canucks to start. I think he's playing Pettersson and Höglander on the Swedish line. And so that was my thoughts as a Canucks fan. I mean, we did give up quite a bit, but sometimes you need to do that. And about re-signing Lindholm, I don't know if he's obviously a UFA. That's why Calgary had to get rid of him. So I don't know if they're going to sign him, because they're going to have to give a lot of money out to PD and probably a pretty decent chunk of money out to Roenick too in the offseason. And then you might give some money to guys like Joshua and players like that who are also UFAs. But Lindholm, if they can re-sign him for 6 mil, 7 mil, it's not too bad. But then again, we don't need to re-sign him if we do well this season. I think if we obviously want to win the cup, but if we made the conference finals, that deal would still have been worth it. And for Calgary, I think Calgary, they got a pretty big haul. You're thinking a guy who's gonna leave you anyway, and this is a big chunk of assets. Obviously Kuzmenko, and then pretty decent prospect, not a blue chip, but pretty good prospect, and then kind of never meh prospect. And you get a first-round pick, which is pretty good too, and obviously a 4th-round pick. So I think it's kind of almost a win-win trade for both teams, because Vancouver gets what they wanted. Calgary gets a big amount of assets back. So yeah. And anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I will start to upload more videos about the Canucks and about the NHL in general coming up soon. If there's more big trades that are happening. I know Sean Monahan went to the Winnipeg Jets. I just don't think that's a big enough trade to really comment on. I mean, it is a pretty big trade. I think, it is a pretty big trade, but I'm not going to do a video on that. But if there's more trades coming up, then I might I'll make a video about those, and I'll also make a video playoff preview and maybe some live streams coming up. Who knows? All right. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.